We interrupt this program for a 5 on Your Side special report.
I'm Kay Quinn. We are cutting into programming for breaking news. St. Louis Metropolitan Police are beginning their first news conference since the arrest of a suspect in the fatal highway shooting of 16-year-old Colin Brown. Let's join that right now.
Investigation of Colin Brown. As you'll hear today, it's still very active and ongoing, so please bear with us as we are still trying to protect certain details of this investigation. Today you'll hear from St. Louis Metropolitan Police Chief Robert Tracy. That will be followed by Circuit Attorney Gabe Gore, along with Illinois State Police Director Brendan Kelly and FBI Special Agent in Charge Ashley Johnson. Chief.
Thank you, Mitch. So since November 23rd, 2024, we've been working around the clock to investigate the senseless act of violence that took 16-year-old Colin Brown's life. What happened to Colin is nothing short of a tragedy, and it should never have happened. The SLMPD, who two people are with me now, Lieutenant Colonel Kreisman, Lieutenant Colonel, and then Commander of a Homicide, John Blaskowitz, come on up to the podium. The SLMPD, St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department Homicide Division, has worked hand in hand with the Illinois State Police, the FBI St. Louis, and the St. Louis County Police to investigate this tragedy. Yesterday, 26-year-old Garrett Jordan was arrested, and charges were issued today in connection to Colin's murder. Despite the arrest and charges, it won't bring Colin back. As a father myself, I pray this can bring a sense of relief and peace to Colin's family. I want to express my appreciation to the Circuit Attorney Gabe Gore and his team. We have worked closely with them through this entire case. Before turning it over to Circuit Attorney Gore, I want to share that this is still a very active and ongoing investigation. In the coming days, weeks, and months, we will share more updates on this case. We are working with Circuit Attorney and anticipate others will be charged in connection to this investigation. Anyone with information about this case should call Crime Stoppers. You can remain anonymous. With that, I'll turn it over to Circuit Attorney Gabe Gore. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. And want to start off by expressing what a senseless tragedy this was, a real tragedy for our community, and obviously our deepest condolences go out to Colin Brown's family. Today we issued charges against Garrett Jordan. The charges that we've issued are murder in the first degree, armed criminal action in connection with that charge, assault in the first degree, armed criminal action in connection with that charge, and unlawful use of a weapon, armed criminal action in connection with that charge. These charges were issued after extensive investigation, really remarkable collaboration and coordination between investigative agencies. We want to thank the FBI, well, first of all, St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department and the collaboration with Illinois State Police, the FBI, and DEA as well. Really just excellent police work has permitted us to issue these charges today, and we're going to be moving forward in the case, and the investigation will be continuing, and I'll be happy to take any questions about the matter after everyone has spoken. And I believe now we're going to hear from Brendan Ryan with the Illinois State Police.
Good afternoon. I'm Brendan Kelly, Director of the Illinois State Police. I don't have any prepared comments. My comments will be brief. Colin Brown was the son of Lieutenant Colonel Calvin Brown, retired from the Illinois State Police. And we are really here because we care about them. We care about that family. So this is near and dear to our heart. But we also work very closely every day with the men and women on both sides of the river who are involved in law enforcement, trying to protect public safety and to pursue justice. So this is an example of those excellent relationships and the professionalism of law enforcement that we're seeing on this side of the river. So we are grateful for it. We are grateful for the action that is being taken today. When there is such a senseless, unfathomable loss of life, there must be an answer for it. And the officers of the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department, they have answered. And the circuit attorney has answered. Our partners in other law enforcement agencies and our federal brothers and sisters from those federal agencies, they also have answered. So we are grateful for that. But we also know that this is just a first step. So I am thankful for the leadership of Chief Tracy, thankful for the leadership of Circuit Attorney Gore, because there is more investigation to be done, and there is battles to be fought in the courtroom. And we know they have still that work to do. But for this first step today, for the people in Illinois that love Colin, and people in Missouri that love Colin, and people across this country that love him, we are grateful for.
We love you, Brownie. We're
So
playing
with
for
that, let me turn it over to FBI Special Agent in Charge, Ashley Johnson. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'd first like to give my condolences on behalf of the FBI to the family, the Brown family, and also to the community and Colin and his classmates as well. Like Chief Tracy, I am a mother, so I deeply sympathize with the tragic loss or the imagination of the tragic loss of a child. And at one point, I was a teammate, so I can understand what his teammates may be going through with the loss of their friend and their colleague, their classmate. So I want to give my condolences to each of them. The FBI's Violent Crimes Task Force has surged its resources to assist with this investigation. Since day one, we've increased our manpower. We've obtained a great amount of analytical and intelligence data, and we have assisted with the execution of several search warrants at multiple locations. It is also important to recognize our other federal partners who have been instrumental in helping us to investigate this tragedy. So I would like to thank not only the St. Louis County Police Department, but also the DEA and ATF for their efforts in this. The FBI has dedicated resources to the homicide unit, and while this is a high-profile case, the FBI is providing the same level of effort with every homicide case in which we are asked to assist. Our mission, as is that of our partners, is to keep our community safe and to ensure perpetrators of violent crime are brought to justice. If you have additional information about this or other cases, we ask that you contact or you submit a tip through tips.fbi.gov, or you may use 1-800-CALL-FBI. Thank you.
With that being said, we will open it up to questions, but please remember that this is still an ongoing investigation. There are certain details that we just can't get into right now, but we will certainly try and provide context to what happened throughout the investigation, but we still have a very active case happening right now. Okay? Questions?
So the PC statement said that a witness identified the car that was outside the home on Minnesota Avenue. I know for several weeks you all asked for help from the public. Is that a result from those requests or something else?
In the PC statement, the identification of the car was through a witness. The identification of that witness was obtained through investigation that led us to the witness. I mean, investigation involved extensive looks at, as you see in the PC statement, cell phone records, obviously witness interviews, and that's what led us to that conclusion. And I also want to just thank the Assistant Circuit Attorneys who did great work on this case, Tanya Engelhardt, who's our Chief of Homicide, and also Assistant Circuit Attorney Grant Simon, who worked a lot on the PC statement and the complaint.
So it was through investigation, it wasn't a witness that came forward from the calls for information?
It was not. Now the public was of great assistance in that we relied, as again set forth in the PC statement, we rely on video evidence to help us bring these charges. And that video evidence, a substantial amount of it comes from cameras that were, Ring cameras on people's houses, so that cooperation was very helpful in this investigation. So as always, in these investigations, we rely heavily on cooperation of the community.
you could expound on that a little bit with the evidence in many places. It was in the city, it was in St. Louis County, it was in St. Charles County. I know there was activity. Just getting all those agencies together and looking at evidence from video to shell casings to, tracking individuals, a number of different players. What's it like putting all that together?
Like I said, it was great police work, led by St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department, but with our partners at the Illinois State Police, FBI and DEA all play the significant role here. Great work by Assistant Circuit Attorneys Ingo Hart and Grant Simon. I know they've been working on this virtually around the clock. So it's really an example of just everyone coming together and staying focused and being able to bring charges in a case that has really hit our community hard.
Can you talk about some of the technology that police used to ascertain the suspect here? I know cell phone tracking was part of it, according to the probable cause statement. Other technology used too.
I'll defer that to Chief Trees.
Well, Sean, that's very timely, that question, isn't it? Since I've been before the Board of Alders doing a usage plan on technology. But it also shows, what this technology is used for, to bring people to justice, to bring bad guys to justice. And that's exactly what some of this technology helped us. But it's not just technology. It takes good work by detectives. It takes witnesses possibly giving us information. It uses the technology. You talked about some of the things possibly going outside our jurisdiction. We have the Illinois State Police here. We also have the county, St. Louis County Police here. Yeah, we cooperate. People, sometimes they say we don't cooperate. We cooperate and we work together every single day. But with the technology, yes, we're going to leverage everything, and it's protected. There's guardrails up against how we can use this technology. And this technology, we need to get court orders. We need to get approvals to get this. And yes, we're going to leverage everything we can to try to bring justice, bring someone to justice and some closure to this family, and make sure this person isn't out there doing something again, so someone else is going to be harmed or, God forbid, dead, like this poor 16-year-old.
And can you elaborate on the events of the shooting? Was this the Audi following victim 2's car onto the highway? Was it victim 2 going onto the highway and the Audi was shooting at it? I know there's a lot you can't say, but what can you?
Yeah, I would like to just stay with the probable cause statement right now. We're giving as much as we can, and probable cause, putting that out there. As I said in my initial remarks, this case is ongoing. We got a lot more investigation to do. We had enough to charge the individual, but we want to make sure there's other things that we have to continue to investigate. So a lot of these details, if we reveal too much with some details, when we are speaking to other people, we got to make sure that they're not aware of those intricate details that you're kind of asking about. Stay with the probable cause statement. We want to make sure that we don't compromise this case. So we're giving as much as we can. Sometimes you're going to want more, but we would like to give more, but not where we're going to compromise the overall investigation. Sure.
How about the mentality,
Two more
though,
questions.
of a suspect that knows he's being tracked because he's on parole, would still commit a crime like this, and that obviously shows the need for law enforcement to be watching out for this. But that kind of mentality to still commit a crime with those eyes.
Well, it shows that some people don't have regard for human life out there. And some people that have access to firearms and they use them the way that this firearm was used, they don't really care about human life. And here's the consequence of something happening, and where we're at today, where it's senseless what this family's going through, and it should never happen. And this person's actions are going to be held accountable, or anybody else that's involved in this case. So. Yes, I talk about sensible gun laws. I talk about holding people accountable to gun laws. The circuit attorney talks about that fairly, constitutionally. But the privilege of carrying a gun and using it the way that you have, you should be held accountable if you're going to cause the type of things or cause death that this person has.
Can you explain the first-degree murder charge? Does that require intent? How did we arrive at that charge in particular?
Well, again, at this point, we're not going to get too deep in the evidence beyond what's in the probable cause statement. But if you look at the complaint in the probable cause statement, you'll see that we charge acting with another, and there is a concept in criminal law of transferred intent that could be relevant to the charges. So. At this point, we'll leave it at that. But you have theories of acting with another and also theories of transferred intent.
So you're not identifying Mr. Jordan as the shooter?
If you look at the probable cause statement, we nowhere in the probable cause statement say he's the shooter.
With that being said, guys, thank you for being here. Remember, it's still very active and ongoing. Please continue to push Crime Stoppers. We don't know what more information might come through that homicide detectives might need. You can call Crime Stoppers. You can also call the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Homicide Division. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you.
You have been watching a live news conference at St. Louis Metropolitan Police Headquarters held by the FBI, the Illinois State Police, and the Circuit Attorney's Office. We have confirmed the Circuit Attorney's Office has filed multiple charges against 26-year-old Garrett Jordan, including charges of first-degree murder, armed criminal action, assault, and unlawful use of a weapon. Now, according to court documents, police arrested Jordan after tracing his phone's location data to the scene of the crime. They also used surveillance video to crack the case. Police aren't ruling out a second shooter. Colin Brown died on November 27th. It was 4 days.
We love you, Brownie. We're playing for you.
He was a passenger in a vehicle being driven by his dad on Interstate 55 in South St. Louis on his way home from a hockey game where it happened. Here are some new facts in the case. A dark Audi is the suspect vehicle. A witness allegedly told investigators that car was often parked outside of a residence on Minnesota in the city, the house where the suspect, Garrett, lived. We also learned another vehicle was struck by gunfire while traveling southbound on I-55 during the shooting. Officers seized surveillance videos during the investigation from many locations around the shooting area on I-55 and Loughborough, which is where that happened. They are also continuing to ask for help from the public. You can call Crime Stoppers, 866-371-TIPS, or you can go online, FBI.gov, and report your tip there, or call 1-800-CALL-FBI. The authorities calling this a very active and ongoing investigation, and they anticipate others will be charged. But for now, again, 26-year-old Garrett Jordan, whose last residence was on Minnesota in the city of St. Louis, charged with first-degree murder and multiple other counts consistent with this shooting that happened back on November 23rd. All right, we will have much more on this story coming up on 5 on Your Side at 4, 5, 6, and 10. And of course, you can find information anytime on KSDK.com and the 5+ app. We now return you to your regular programming.
This has been a 5 on Your Side special report. We now join regularly scheduled programming in progress.